So game 2 between Norwegian Bastards and German Potatoes is here. So let's see what this one brings. We have had a switch of players, at least for the Norwegian Bastards here. German Potatoes stay with the same players, but on the other team we have Kong Forever filling in for Plogen for this one. They are roughly the same rating. Kong actually broke the 1800 ELO mark the other day, so he's now 1840 in 1v1. Pretty darn strong player. And still we have HJ in the pocket here. He's in the 1500s as a 1v1 player, but if you played 1v1s more frequently, it may be that he is even a little bit higher, but he's an extremely solid team player, especially from the pocket. So HJ with slabs for this one. More than decent pocket civilization. Fantastic boom with their faster working farms. Then you'd have access to Cavalier later on, and you have the boyars for the castles as well, not to mention their siege and infantry potential for the late game should it come to that. And but it's actually alright. And then to the right side, Kong Forever with the Turks flank here. New Turks have some more tanky scouts. I don't think Kong will be going into the scouts here though. He's probably going to play so drush into either Field Age Archers or simply drush fast casting Cav Archers here. We have a small break for some reason here, maybe lag issues or something. Maybe even a restart, but I don't really see any reason for that considering the previous game. But the last player for Norwegian Bastards here is again Akkal the Great, 1600 player with the Portuguese for this one. So I mean, they're Norwegian Bastards here saving the better saves for the tougher matchups later on. They are going to meet teams that are closer to their own heroes. Now they're just kind of experimenting with almost a little bit uncommon combos here. So Turks will have access to camels should that be needed in the Castle Age onwards. Then we'd be probably seeing scouts into knights for HJ from the slabs here. Could be seeing cavaliers and boyars later on as well. Whereas Portuguese, well, they have fantastic potential in the organ cannons. Organ guns, I mean, cannons, organ guns, and from the castles, but that's taking a long while to mass, so we might not see that, but that would be a slow and deadly push if that's the case. In any case, Portuguese research technologies 30% faster, and their units cost 20% less gold. So they are absolutely a civilization to be reckoned with these days. Now for the other team, D-Boy here as a pocket for this one. He is 1408, strongest player elo-wise on the German Potatoes here. Note the builder count here, dead similar between everyone to begin with here. Very little idle time overall. And we have Slab's pocket for Dom as well, actually. So we have Slab's mirror for the pocket position. So German Potatoes may be saving the better civs for later here as well. Left hand side, Byzantine's flank for Tuyo. Defensive civ is their classification. They have cheaper skirmishers and pikemen, which could come in handy at all stages of the game, really. And arguably have a decent counter against Slav's infantry as well, with the unique unit, the Cataphract, if they could ever get to that. Right hand side, we have B-Boy here with the Saracens. Civilization without any concrete eco bonuses from the Dark Age, but once you get to the Feudal Age and get a market up, you'd get better prices to trade your own resources, say selling food for gold, for example, which makes it easier to get into your mass of archers, which have extra attack bonus against the enemy buildings. So walls don't necessarily stop Saracens archers, but I believe in this matchup here with B-Boy, a 1300 peak 1472 player against Kong Forever, who is in the 1800s these days, should be a tough one for B-Boy on this flank. I think Kong could handle this side on his own, and then they could just maybe focus on the left-hand side or something. Alcolner says, I am back. Alright, no spoilers, but how were your games? Did you enjoy Nomad, your favorite maps? No comment. Oh, fun guy. Hey, Coster is here as well. Nice. Nice to see the familiar faces here. So we're off to start. This is actually the second game. Norwegian Potatoes, Norwegian Bastards are up 1-0, as you can see. And now we're just building up for whatever the next age is going to bring here. Let's see on the sides. Middle is up for Oxel. Looks like he's about to take the 10 gold here, unless he wants to drop a mining camp here. But he's taking those 10 gold, and he's dropping a barracks. And should garrison here to try and snipe to your scout. Doesn't quite succeed. But the barracks indeed goes up, and Tuyo should be seeing here that Oxel plans to do a rush. Unless he got unlucky here. Just passed, unfortunately. So that could be an issue, but we see the walls going up here as well, and then there's Byzantines, so any follow-up from Axel the Great with archers would be easier for Tuyo to handle on his own with the cheaper skirmishers. Kong seems to be forward with the scout here. He's dropped the barracks as well. Did he take those 10 gold? Yes, he did indeed. So it's going to be Drush on both the right and left hand side here. Nice awareness from B-Boy here to quick wall in the berries for now, and we'll have an easy time to try and fend off the Drush over here. Let's see if B-Boy pays attention here to what Kong sends forward. Scouts are fighting. Kong loses HP, but lures the scout toward the militia here. The angry housewife at work to get some hits in maybe. Oh, careful! TC, Kong! TC! I can't possibly understand how Kong didn't take more damage there, but he salvaged his units nicely here. Quick walls are weaker after the recent patch, so Kong could very well break through here, and he does indeed. Alright, so some idle time cost already. Won't be a villager kill here, but will be a scout kill maybe. Kong moves on for the wood line, I think, because the berries have been quick walled in here. All the other players up to the feudal age, so it's going to be full wars for 2 here. Drops the barracks, looks like a defensive build here then, because it's not really on gold yet either. Could be straight into skirmishers here and play it defensive against Axel here, who is also walling, but has the scout forward and has a rush on the way as well. Right hand side, Kong is just being plain annoying. He loves his rush, usually goes for 3 or more militia here. Will maybe lose them now to villager fighting, but that's still idle time cost, and worst case a dead villager here for B-Boy as well. Yep, 1 down. So that's 21 now for B-Boy, 28 villagers for Kong, who will be going for the fast castle approach here. Does sacrifice his scout though, but with some serious damage in return. Left hand side we have Axel here with the Drush. Won't really be let in here because of the walls in towards the TC for Tuyo, who is also in the feudal age already. Feudal age on the way for Axel as well. We'll be going for the men at arms upgrade here. Should make it possible to then break through the walls and maybe deal some damage after all. Piotrich, it's only 2 games. It's 1 home map for each team. And then it's a league system. So if you win 1 game you get 1 point. But if you win both games, winning both home and away map, then you are granted an extra point and get 3 points total. So that's the league setup. Alright, militia attacking here. No man-at-arms upgrade after all for Axel the Great, maybe realizing that the damage potential is limited here. Nice wall from Tuyo, I have to say, to keep it out here. Some fighting in the middle, HJ with the scouts now, and looks like he has roughly the same amount of scouts as D-Boy has here. But his reinforcements obviously closer, and now we'll have a 3 vs 2 situation here with a mirrored composition of slabs here. Some nice scouts micro as well. D-Boy pulls back towards the hill, but of course doesn't engage, he's outnumbered here. Left hand side, Drush still not doing too much here, could still be annoying and force some quick walls here, but now there are archers out for Tuyo with 8 total on gold to supply 2 ranges with constant production here for the Byzantines. We'll clean up this Drush, so that didn't do much for Axel the Great here, other than cause some mild discomfort. Looking at the military numbers though, no military just yet for Kong. He is going into double ranges here though as Turks, and will probably be on the way to the... I would say he would be on the way to the castle age, but he's going for the feudal age aggression here actually, so it's rush into flush for Kong it seems. HJ now on the left hand side together with Auxiliary. I'm not sure about that call, you won't really be able to do much. Could maybe take Tuyo off gold here, which is his only gold available inside the walls. I mean, a tower here would be just absolutely perfect against Tuyo here, would force them to expand to these horrible forward golds here. And looking at the resources overall, back gold for D-Boy here, side-ish gold for B-Boy, but also main gold forward. Now with the 2 vs 1 on Kong here, maybe Kong playing it slightly too greedy here, who knows, but walls go up here to keep this aggression out, and Kong with a very economic approach to walls here, extending all the way towards the edge actually, so maybe not that economic after all. But we'll keep the aggression out for now. Is subject to 2 vs 1. I don't think this tower can go up, can it? HJ brings his scouts over though, and with Kong's army from inside, he has 5 military. Slight mistake there from D-Boy, running into the TC, but realizes quickly and pulls back. Looks like Akkal is alright on his left hand side here, mixed in some skirms as well. He's up against Byzantines after all, so Byzantines have an easy time committing to skirms. Issue here for Byzantines being that you're off gold. That's going to make that transition into the next stage tougher. Now with 0 gold, you'll have to rely on market abuse to get to the next stage, and Castle Age is way off for Tuyo here right now, being off gold and being not having an easy time to escape. You're playing it defensively, walling off, hopefully buying time for the pocket. Now on the way to the Castle Age to deal some damage in the next age. 8 scouts for HJ, commits more to scouts, slightly more to scouts than D-Boy has done here. 11 military total for HJ, maybe he has some scouts on the left hand side as well. There's some forward here from Tuyo against Akkal, roughly equal numbers here, both with fletching. So 5 total here. Let's see how the fight will be here. Looks like HJ got a decent one here together with Kong, and now they'll chase. They're with roughly equal numbers here, but Kong has a few more archers, actually larger military presence overall for Norwegian bastards here. This game certainly looks better for German potatoes than the previous game did though, so it's by far not over yet. Some TL presence over here, almost looks green, but just stay here for Akkal the Great and keep Tuyo off gold, and they will just be having such a hard time getting to the next stage here. Now a forward on the right hand side as well. HJ looping in to try and snipe scouts here. Fun thing is, it will almost be better off the other way around here with Turks scouts against these guys, because they have a higher piece armor. Still a good trade here for the players. Looks like roughly equal archer numbers here. A few more for Kong. And defense in for both, but all the scouts are down now for D-Boy, so that's no more meat shield for B-Boy to use there. They have to back off. 2 different golds being taken for a B-Boy here. Guess that's a good thing. This kind of gold income could also facilitate the market usage, although B-Boy doesn't have a market up yet. Full skirms on the left hand side for Tuyo means that Akkal will need either a couple of scouts or knights soon from HJ in the pocket, or he'll have to make some of his own, or like now take a little bit of presence on the hill and try and fight them back. Castle Age is on the way though, so once crossbow and potentially elite skirm can kick in, it's an easier fight for sure. Looks like the beginning of a team wall here as well. Not too far of a section between the players here to connect and then secure the whole passage here for Norwegian bastards. And German potatoes thinking about the same thing, it seems. Saracens archers number increasing, still in the feudal age though, and B-Boy, had he had a market, could have easily clicked up by now, but does not have a market, and adjustment is not possible. Tuyo is back on gold with just a few here, and will be able to produce units again. For now, just producing villagers. HJ looping in with some scouts here. He will be making knights soon anyway, and if they find Tuyo skirms here, that's an easy kill for HJ to make. Just don't run too far away here. Right hand side, trying to hit Kong on the flank as well. I think German potatoes have recognized that Kong is the highest rated player here. They want to 2v1 him and try and cripple him off the game. But the archer numbers are flattening here now, and Kong is 60% Castle Age with Larger numbers here overall, or roughly similar numbers. Same upgrades. Some knights in the mix though, but they're missing the +2, so still vulnerable to feudal age units as well. Imagine Kong's annoyed voice. I think Kong is fine here. HJ is on spot with some units as well, and note that upgrades are similar here. +1/+1 brings in the scouts even to even it out here. But sure, Axel will appreciate just a couple of scouts over here as well, just to take out these skirmishers. Will be so much easier. Crossbows will do the work though, no problem. Even using a villager and an angry housewife here as a meat shield to tank skirmisher arrows. Wow, this woman is the hero of the day. She saves the day and drops a TC after. Wow, what a hero. War hero there. First diverting Archer's armor, not taking a single hit, and then dropping the town center to secure gold for the income of her country to move on. HA with the numbers here now, 18 to 13 overall. Let's look at their eco setups here. It's 2 TCs for 3 actually for D-Boy, whereas HA is for the time being on 2, but probably has roughly the same number of farms. So 1 more TC for D-Boy sets him back a little bit in terms of units production, because you need food for the Knights production as well, and when you don't have enough farms working for you to justify it, makes it a bit awkward to keep production and villagers going. You see he was queuing for only 2 TCs there for a moment. But now we'll run in over here. Let's look at the Saracens archers, both with, both Kong and B-Boy here with similar upgrades. It's 33 against, yeah, they're roughly in the equal numbers here. And no one with an advantage over the other. The only advantage for Turks being gathering gold more quickly. Their cavalry archers could be huge though if Kong finally makes a switch to those for the late game. Siege workshop on the hill for the Slavs player here, going to provide some siege against the archers' numbers here. That could be dangerous. +2 is in for both pocket players as well, simply mirroring the upgrades here, keeping the scouts from the initial stages as well, and yeah, of course, as is expected, staying closely together. This looks a lot more like an even matchup in players between the teams here, and that's an accomplishment for German Potatoes here, being down probably 200 elo more in average 1v1 rating. So they're playing a great game here so far, German Potatoes. Byzantines on the defensive here, double range. Let's see if that's skirms or what it is. It's mainly skirms, a few archers in the mix. So that isn't necessarily bad against the Portuguese forward here, but here comes a siege workshop as well though. One mangonel hiding among the knights here could get a lucky shot in on Kong. It has happened before that Kong has taken some losses to big mangonel shots, but not this time around. Uh-oh, B-Boy a bit forward alone here now. Imagine if Kong had some the defensive siege here now, could be huge. But the army is obviously staying close together. HJ could just task 2 or 3 knights to try and snipe this mangonel in the middle of things. They are hesitant to take fights. There's a hill close here to fall back to as well if needed. Double mangonel and archers here for Axel the Great. That's bad news for Tuyo's skirm and crossbow investment here. You don't easily micro down 2 mangonels like this, and there isn't any stable in the mix for Tuyo yet. Losing a lot of map control here. Look at the scouting intel as well. Not even a market. Tuyo is blind and oblivious to whatever is happening on the right hand side, but for now, defending nicely though. Still control of the gold, has 2 defensive towers here, has the means to drop a castle as well, and Byzantine's castles have extra HP, so they are no joke at all. Right hand side, massive army combos here. Now we can look at the compositions here. So that's 20 knights, a few weekend ones for D-Boy here, whereas HA has 23. Upgrades should be similar here, +2 for both. And then there are 49 against 54, so a few more archers for Saracens here. But if we look at the eco setup here, Kong HJ and Axel with 80 and 70 villagers. Kong with only 50-ish for now. He's been under some pressure and he's also been playing one TC only, whereas the others have multiple TCs working. So that's something there. It's 2 TCs for D-Boy as well. Should facilitate Knight's production over HJ's 3 TCs here. But if they've kicked in with this farm bonus here from Slavs, you could still easily keep consistent production. Actually, 4 TCs here for HJ would also explain this massive builder lead. Well, not necessarily massive, but still 7 villager lead over the opposing pocket with the same civilization here. Tuyo seems a bit worse off here though. 1 TC, 2 TCs there, and 62 villagers overall. 20 military falling behind, unfortunately, to his flank with 20 and 33 here. So 13 villagers, or 13 military short, and with 2 mangonels chasing. So the pause has been averted. There's usually kind of laggy games with Kong in the mix. Unfortunately, he has potato computer, new one on the way, but it's not in just yet. Diving in for the fight here, HJ knows he has the superior Knights number now, similar upgrades, and look at that sneaky Mangonel shot. Scary, scary, scary. Great hit again. So thankfully Saracen's archers here have +2, but if all the knights are killed here off D-Boy, then that's just such a good fight for HA. Note that HA is sending in a steady trickle of more knights as well to contribute to the fight. 17, 19 now for HA against D-Boy's 11, and all of D-Boy's knights forward are down. Another Mangonel shot, not great actually. And goes down in the end to Saracens here. I'm not sure if Mangonels are considered a building, but now going to trade villagers instead. Looks like Kong has ballistics here. The university is in, whereas the Saracens player has no university, will not have ballistics. Oh, never mind, there's a university for B-Boy as well. Didn't recognize that one. But fight is great here. They have to stay off the hill still. But yeah, great trade there. Just look at the KD here. 54 to 31 for Kong, and for 14 to 26 for HJ, as sacrificing some knights there to take out the enemy knights. Defensive castle on the Stones of Gods. I love this castle for Tuyo. It's defending some seriously needed resources for later. Skirmishers mainly here for the business player, dealing with Axel the Great's army, as some knights from D-Boy are over here to help as well. But the right side is in trouble here now. Looking at the army numbers, HJ with 27 overall now, committing all of the fighting to this side as they chase uphill now. Still hesitant to take the fight uphill, of course. Mangonel might go down, gets a little bit of damage on the knights here. And pulling back, but the numbers are of importance here. It is 17 military total for D-Boy, but D-Boy was over on the left-hand side as well. Somehow Axel the Great has managed to delay this castle. I think he had a Mangonel inside the siege workshop here, has a crossbow here to snipe some villagers, and the numbers are worrying now. HJ 100 plus villagers, Axel with 93, B-Boy and the others lagging seriously behind in population now. All 3 players in Norwegian Bastards have more than 100 population, whereas Tuyo is struggling to keep up here, so some serious pressure being dealt. Mangonels will now go down to cast fire though, but all Axel needs to do on the left hand side is keep up the pressure and hold, and Kong Forever and HJ will eventually get to the leading position and kill on this side. 2 Mangonels out for Kong now. Quite a few knights in the mix for D-Boy as well. D-Boy recognizing his sorely needed on this side. But note the upgrades here as well. 5 stables producing for HJ, only 3 stables for D-Boy here. And Imperial Age 60% for HJ, being the first player reaching the next age here. B-Boy not really able to. No other players really in the position to go Imperial Age. Maybe Tuyo actually having the castle up, and the cheaper Byzantine Sim could go Imperial, but I don't think that's going to give Tuyo all that much with 20 military to back it. Axel the Great on the way to Imperial as well. He has 28 military total. Dropping a defensive castle now could even go into the organ guns if you wanted to here. There are some knights for HJ on this side as well, just to tank some skirmisher fire, maybe, or hunt down the skirmishers. It seems like mainly skirmishers here for Tuyo, and with just 3 knights like this, that should be enough to deal with those, as long as you don't fight under castle fire. Roughly 400 population total for Norwegian bastards now, and 280 for, well, 270 for German potatoes. That's quite a huge gap. Lots of red archers being taken out here as well. Cavaliers should be on the way for HJFE here, and Dome still stuck in the castle age, unfortunately, the opposing pocket here. And there we go with Imperial Age in for HJFE here. The domination, as kind of expected maybe, elo-wise for Norwegian Bastard, is a fact. We see some great presence on the left-hand side for Axel the Great as well. Did a good job here with keeping our numbers up and taking to off gold for a long while in Fuel Age. No Castle Age possible. The Pocket D-Boy here doing a great job supplying numbers to the fights. Maybe staying on 2 TCs for a while, or 1 TC, wasn't a bad call at all, because that facilitates more numbers. He did match HJ's numbers for a long while, but for the long run, when you're up against a 4, maybe even 5 TC boom from the player with the same civ as you, as is HJ's case here, you will fall behind, because they will reach Imperial Age earlier, and could take much better engagement. And look at the KDs here. 172 to 63 for Kong here. Arguably the MVP of the game just because of that, actually. So let's have a look at the stats on this game that, or set that went to 2-0 for Norwegian Bastards. Now sharing the top league spots with Drushina, who also took 3 points today. Massive KD for Kong here. Must have gotten some great mangled shots in here. 92, 124 for B-Boy there. Did some valiant fighting with his large numbers of archers, but falling behind in technology in the end. And HJ with the earliest imp of all. Tuyo in imp as well, but didn't have the military numbers to back it necessarily. Kongfire with 76 army in the end. I'm guessing that's mainly crossbows to be our list if he ever would make it to imp, but Kong is also a very strong all-in cast age player, so he could have just stayed in cast age with the numbers here. And then looking at the booming here, B-Boy losing a lot, of course, relying maybe a little bit on that Saracens market bonus. Tuyo doing a great job and all that pressure to get to 84 villagers in the end. Must have lost very few, but with only 2 TCs in the end, securing some territory, but never able to punish Axel the Great's eco here. Makes it awkward to stay alive for the German potatoes team here. See the battle events along the way, and army numbers very consistent for Kong here. Largest army overall, matched almost by B-Boy here, but in the end losing them when the cavalry of D-Boy went down here. So GG, well played, but it is a 2-0 for Norwegian Bastards here.